Everyone, at some point, has been told that we are social creatures, that we need other people to thrive, to be happy, to feel whole. And for a long time, that's all we heard. We were taught to fear being alone. We were taught that solitude was a synonym for loneliness, that a person who chooses to be by themselves must be a sad, isolated figure. We saw it in movies, we read it in books, and we were reminded of it in our daily lives. But what if this common narrative is fundamentally wrong? What if the person who actively seeks out time alone isn't sad or lonely at all, but is, in fact, engaged in a profound and deeply beneficial practice? What if the ability to be alone, and to even enjoy it, is a superpower in a world that never stops talking? That's the hidden psychology we're going to explore today. We're going to peel back the layers and discover what truly drives people who choose solitude, and why it might just be one of the most misunderstood traits of our time. One of the most important distinctions to make is the difference between solitude and loneliness. Loneliness is a feeling of distress that comes from a lack of connection with others. It's the feeling of being isolated and unwanted, often accompanied by a deep sense of sadness. Loneliness is a forced state, a feeling that something is missing. Solitude, on the other hand, is a chosen state. It's an intentional act of being alone that is restorative and empowering. It's a time when you are not simply absent from others, but present with yourself. Think of the difference between being stranded on a desert island and voluntarily spending a weekend alone in a secluded cabin in the woods. One is a state of unwanted isolation. The other is a deliberate choice for self-care and renewal. So, what are the traits of someone who embraces solitude? The first is a powerful sense of self-awareness. When you're constantly surrounded by people, you're constantly reacting to them. You're adjusting your conversation, your opinions, and even your mood to fit the social environment. It's like navigating a constant stream of external demands. But when you are alone, all of that external noise falls away. The only person you have to listen to is yourself. This is the time when you can truly hear your own thoughts, understand your own emotions, and reflect on your own experiences without any filters. It's a practice of introspection, and for people who choose solitude, this isn't a chore, it's a necessity. They have an innate understanding that to know others, you must first know yourself. This brings us to a second trait, creativity and deep thought. We often think of creativity as a spark of genius that happens out of nowhere, but the truth is, it requires a lot of mental space. It requires time for the mind to wander, to connect seemingly unrelated ideas, and to process information in new and innovative ways. It's no coincidence that many of history's most creative minds, from Albert Einstein to Virginia Woolf, were known for their need for solitude. They understood that being alone gives your mind the breathing room it needs to incubate ideas. It allows for the kind of daydreaming and quiet contemplation that is impossible in a crowded room. People who choose solitude aren't just escaping from the world. They are retreating into a creative sanctuary where new thoughts and insights can finally emerge. Mid-video, a quick, friendly interlude. If you're finding this video helpful and want to dive deeper into the fascinating world of human psychology, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to our channel. Your support helps us create more content like this. And if you have any thoughts or experiences with solitude, we'd love to hear from you in the comments below. The next characteristic of those who thrive in solitude is their emotional independence. In a culture that often relies on others for validation, happiness, and emotional support, people who choose to be alone demonstrate a different kind of strength. They don't need constant external stimulation to feel okay. They are comfortable sitting with their own feelings, both good and bad, without immediately seeking distraction or the company of others to make them go away. This isn't about shutting people out. It's about being your own anchor. It's the ability to self-regulate emotions and find a sense of peace from within. This self-reliance makes them incredibly resilient and less susceptible to the emotional whims of those around them. Furthermore, people who value solitude often have a different approach to their relationships. They prioritize quality over quantity. They aren't interested in collecting a massive number of acquaintances or filling their social calendar just for the sake of it. Instead, They invest their time and energy in a smaller, more meaningful circle of friends. Their social interactions are deliberate and genuine because they are not driven by a need to fill a void. When they do choose to be with people, it's because they truly want to be there, and as a result, the bonds they form are often deeper and more authentic. This is a crucial point that goes against the popular misconception of the loner. The solitary person isn't rejecting people. They are simply being selective about how they spend their limited social energy. Now, it's easy to confuse this with introversion, and while there is a significant overlap, they are not the same thing. Introversion is a personality trait where social interaction drains your energy and you need time alone to recharge. You can be an introvert and still crave social connection. The solitary person, however, isn't just recharging. They are actively seeking time alone because they find it enriching and essential for their personal growth. For them, solitude isn't just about managing energy levels. It's a core part of their identity and how they navigate the world. So why is this understanding so important? Because it challenges the way we think about success, happiness, and human connection. We live in a world that praises constant busyness and connectivity. We are told that our worth is measured by our social network and our ability to be constantly on. But the people who choose solitude remind us that there is immense power in slowing down, in turning inward, and in listening to the quieter parts of ourselves. They are the quiet observers, the deep thinkers, and the innovators who find strength not in the crowd, but in the stillness. Embracing solitude is a skill that can be learned, even for those of us who find it uncomfortable. It can start with small steps, a walk without your phone, a few minutes of quiet contemplation, or simply setting aside an hour a day where you are not available to others. These small acts of reclaiming your time and space can lead to a greater sense of clarity, creativity, and inner peace. It's about giving yourself permission to be with yourself and discovering that you are, in fact, wonderful company. So, the next time you see someone sitting alone, don't assume they are lonely or sad. They might just be on a journey of profound self-discovery, finding their strength and their purpose in a way that the rest of the world has yet to understand. They are the masters of their own inner landscape, and their solitude is not an empty space, but a world full of possibilities. If you found this video helpful, consider sharing it with someone who might need to hear this message. It's a reminder that it's okay to be alone, and that choosing solitude is one of the most powerful and courageous things you can do for yourself.